All right, let's move on to our Chief Financial Officer's report. Scott?
Okay, in your board book are the financial reports for the month ending November 30th. This represents 5 months, or 42% of our current year. The first thing you will see is our monthly financials that are out there. There was a question on board book page 15 as to why our transportation revenue is so low. Our transportation fund revenue coincides with our property tax collection. The district should see an increase in March to reflect the increase from the prior year's tax levy with the $300,000 that was added to it from the prior year. If you continue moving on, if you look at it from 15 to 16, comparatively, it's pretty close to what the prior year's budget was versus current year with the percentages. One thing to remember on the revenue side, to change some of the percentages out there, is that we did put in our levy at 98.5% versus 97. So if there is a slight difference in percentage-wise, it could be because of that. Overall, as you're comparing, though, each individual fund, they're relatively comparative as far as percentages and total dollar amount from 15-16 to what 16-17 is, and comparing budget amounts. We move on. The next report given is the student activity account. Just a reminder that negative balances are actually positive fund balances in those accounts. The revenue expense report is the next report that is part of board book. There was a question on board book page 41 in the paid service account. Looking at this account, the account is over budget, and the preliminary purchase service numbers were significantly lower than what the actual numbers that came in from our special ed cooperative. Drafting a worksheet that I will be working with Dr. Skinkus on to get an actual estimate of the final figures for this line item. So that will be coming forward at a later date. What's up on that one? LADSI.
Special Ed Cooperative.
Paid Service Special Ed Cooperative. Service. Okay. And
The issue with the LADSI account is that preliminary budget, we've had to add two one-on-one nurses. And so, for transferring students, and so what we preliminary had budgeted and what ended up coming in, I mean, so that's a significant increase.
change to it. Following the revenue expense report is the updated construction documents, the tracking tools, that is updated as of the bills that were paid through the November board meeting out there. After the bills are approved today, the construction documents will be then updated as of when the bills are approved, and we'll keep updating those as bills are paid for our projects.
Were there any other questions on your financial report, Scott?
There were no other questions on the financial reports.
With regards to the old project, now that we're able to go forward, are we going to get any kind of estimate if there's any additional costs because of the timing, the delay, and the year-and-a-half delay of not doing it, or?
We had some preliminary conversations. He thought he was gonna be able to hold those bids.
Okay.
And now that we're going from, those should be somewhat of a credit for us because we're decreasing in the amount of paved area. Now, there is gonna be some redesign, some new civil that will need to occur, plus the 6 spots. So what I'm hoping is that everything's a wash for what we previously had budgeted. If anything, we save a little money going to this with the setback and the 5 courts. We're only gonna light 4 out of the 5. There'll be a decrease in pavement, going from 90 to 50 or 53. We didn't have budgeted the 6 on Rockefeller, but we're thinking that should still be minor.
So before we go forward, are we gonna have like what we currently have open and what we think we're gonna spend? Okay, thanks.
We're gonna do that in January with finance.
Are we allowed to light only 4 courts and still host a conference meet?
Yeah, we'll be okay with the hosting a conference meet. The idea of lighting the 4 is to help us out a little bit. Otherwise, you're pouring just pouring additional light bases at places.
Well, the purpose of the lights was because we only had the 5 courts.
Right, but the original plan was we were gonna have 5 in a straight line and only light the 4 so that 5th court didn't bleed over on the Rockefeller or Hollywood Avenue when it was butted up against the sidewalk. So we could still light the 4. The 5th is just where it's going. We'd have to pour 2 new lights, so it would be extra work for us. But the intention was to light 4 for competition and
Okay,
2 doubles, 2 singles. It's kind of how they saw it.
okay.
Any questions on this side for Scott? Any questions over there?